The day is July 17th, 1985, the site of the first World Helicopter Championships. 37 competitors from 17 countries have shown up at London, Ontario, Canada to compete for the title of World Champion. Each pilot is of the highest level of skill and a champion pilot in his respective country. The first thing you might notice at an event like this is that the equipment has become very sophisticated. So before we get started with the competition, let's get a little background from the inventor of the RC helicopter.
Okay, we're speaking with Dieter Schluter. He's known as the father of radio-controlled helicopters. He developed and flew the first helicopter in 1969. Dieter, can you tell us a little bit about that first helicopter?
Yeah, I made the first helicopter in the late 69 year, and I started in the winter time. It was very cold when I made my first flights in a hangar, an airplane hangar inside, and then I went outside. It was very windy out there, and I must say then I made my first 5 seconds and 10 seconds, and it was 30 seconds. That's, believe me, it's a very long time. And I was very happy in these days, and then I made my first radio control model with a fuselage. This was a well-known Bell Hui Cobra. And I flew this in the first months of 1970, very successful, but only in hovering in the first time. And because at first when you fly a helicopter you have to start with hovering, because this is a maneuver on the beginning of a flight and on the end of a flight. And when I could hover the model for several minutes, and I started flying forward. And this was, believe me, this was very hard, because then the model was very fast, and I had no chance to bring it down first because I did not know how to do it. The model climbs and climbs and climbs and more up in the sky, and then I had to idle the engine down, and the model doesn't come back again, and then it comes too fast, and I had to put a throttle in again. And so it was for me a fight for about 5 minutes before I get the model down safe and nothing broken.
Did you crash a lot of helicopters in the beginning?
Oh yeah, in the beginning, yeah. Yeah, I crashed a lot of helicopters, because you cannot say in these days that it was a real helicopter. It was a beginning. These are test models, because in these days we had nothing for helicopters. There were no rotor blades on the market. Nobody knows how to make rotor blades. We didn't have a ball link, something we have in these days, and nobody knows the size of the gear ratio or the size of the main rotor blades and the diameter of the main rotor system. It was absolutely nothing known, so I had to start by zero.
Why do you think you were the first? Did people not believe it could be done?
Oh, I don't know why. Maybe I had a little bit luck, but all in all I think it was a combination, because I was a motor car engineer, and before I started making helicopters I flew very well fixed-wing airplanes, so I know many things about flying and fixed-wing airplane and how to handle a radio control system, all these things. And then I had a little workshop with necessary machines so that I can make my parts myself. So it was a combination of an engineer and a parts maker and a flyer, and all this together.
Maybe you can tell us a little bit about the workings of a helicopter. We have a model of your helicopter here.
Yeah, we have a helicopter here, and okay, just to explain how a helicopter flies. We have an engine with an automatic coupling system. If the engine speeds up, the main rotor starts turning around, and these 2 blades are working like wings on a normal airplane, and they are turning around, and so they get lift up, and then they lift up the whole helicopter. But this is only one maneuver you have to do, but then you want to fly forward. That means if the helicopter is in hovering position, then you have to bring your main rotor system, the wide main rotor blades here, in a forward flying position, and then the model flies forward. And if you make it straight, the model stops, if you do it right. If not, if you stop too much, the model goes backwards to this position, then it flies backwards. And so you can fly also sideways, to the left, to the right, or maybe 45 degrees in this way or what. So helicopter can fly in every direction, and then he can climb up and down. And then also, in addition to that, a helicopter can turn around the main rotor system, like we do here. So, and again back. Oops. So, and all this is controlled by a radio control system, and you have, in the same time, you have to control 4 different things. up and down, forward and backward, right and left, and then turning the fuselage. And this is done with a stick. This stick means forward, backward, right and left. And this means turning the fuselage left and right. And this is for climbing with a helicopter up and down. That's all.
Monday was a day of practice with competition beginning on Tuesday. Tuesday also brought high winds which blew one direction for the morning and then switched 90 degrees, leaving many pilots flying in a crosswind. This caused problems for many pilots. There are 4 compulsory maneuvers: a hovering M, a hovering circle, a horizontal 8, and landing. There are 2 landings to choose from: a 45-degree descent landing or an auto rotation. Then there are 14 optional maneuvers to choose from. Total number of maneuvers in a flight is 8. Taya of Japan, as well as a few other pilots, do not seem to be affected by the crosswind. Let's watch as Taya holds his helicopter against the wind in his first round of competition. How do these pilots spend their time in between rounds? Flying helicopters and putting on demonstrations for the crowd. Here we see Lynn Mount of Great Britain letting off tension after intense competition. Wednesday evening, Taya was still in first place. His score for the day, 1,691 points, the highest for the competition. Ewaldheim of Germany has taken second place, and Robert Gorham of the USA has moved into third place at the close of competition on Wednesday. By the end of the competition on Friday, there was no doubt that Taya would finish in first place. And there was no question that he earned it with a final score of 4,691 points. He was flying a TSK Augusta.
Taya, you flew very well in this competition and the wind did not seem to be a problem. Why is that?
大会、風が強かったんだけれども全然問題なく飛んでたみたいなんですけど、その辺はどうしてでしょうかと。私としてはまだ十分とは思ってないけども、もしそう見えたなとしたら、ローターの回転が低かったからだろう。I think due to low RPM of rotor blades.
Second place was Ewaldheim with 4,619 points, flying a Heim Star Ranger. Third place went to Atsushi Nakajima of Japan with 4,325 points, flying a Colt Long Ranger. In fourth place was Nagatsuka of Japan with 4,311 points, flying a Colt Long Ranger. Fifth place was held by Robert Gorham of the USA with 4,242 points. He flew a GMP Cobra. Top performing teams were Japan in first, USA in second, Germany in third, and Great Britain in fourth. We would like to take this opportunity to thank Walter Naus, contest director, for his determination to bring this contest to a reality and making us welcome to the first World Helicopter Championships. We would also like to thank the Model Aeronautical Association of Canada and Daniel Deneen, whose help made it possible for us to cover this event.